Hey everyone, it's Adam, and today I'm going to talk about, is Wix right for you? Now, in my own opinion, do not like Wix. I wouldn't use it. But again, I'm in a very different situation. My company's a very different situation. We build websites for large organizations. We have much larger budgets. So I understand, and probably in some of my latest videos, there were some comments about, why Wix might be a great option for them. So I didn't want to discount that, and I want to come from your perspective. And honestly, we've worked with Wix before. I've personally worked with Wix. I've helped people with Wix websites. It does work for some businesses, and now we'll see if it's right for you and your business. So first off, you have to make a distinction between, is this a website you're building for yourself and a website you're building for a client? Now, if you're doing client work, you should be 100% honest and transparent in that work, that you tell them what platform you're building their website on, and they are a part of that decision. Now you can guide and direct them of where you want them to go. But if you're a person who builds on Wix, you're probably going to recommend that they build on Wix because it's easy and convenient for you, even if it might not be the best platform for your client. That's a hard thing to get out of, but you have to make sure that you are doing due justice for your client and you're building them good websites. Now, if you're building websites on Wix for your clients, usually they're probably pretty simple websites. Your clients are local or smaller businesses, or maybe they're personal websites. They probably don't really care what platform it is, and you coming in and saying, hey, Wix is a pretty good option. They're probably going to go with that and be fine with it, and it'll work out. Now, that's where we get into our first area of a website, which is when we're talking about, is it right for you? Is this a hobby? Is this something where you don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of money invested in it? Is this something just for fun that you want to test out? Then Wix probably is a great option. You can use the free model where you can get hosting, you can get a basic domain, and then all the way up to paying up to like 300, maybe a little bit less a year. If you're doing it yearly, paying yearly, you can get a custom domain, a basic website, all of that. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, and you're really not, this isn't your main thing, probably a great option for you. So that's one. Number two, if you're comparing it for a small business who's just starting out and where their money should go, it really, really depends on the type of business. If you're a local coffee shop and you're not selling anything online, you're not really doing anything like that, having a Wix website that at least has a basic location that people can find you at and they can get to your location, that's probably all you need. So if that's the case, Wix will be great for you. You can save some money in the startup. You can have a basic website where people can find your location. But guess what? They're probably going to have one page where they want to see your location. Hopefully it's clickable so they can open up right in Google Maps right from their phone. Don't forget that. But you also want to have a little bit of information about your story, maybe what you're about. That way people can see, hey, this is a little pretty cool place. Maybe I should go there. But I highly doubt the website's going to be a deterrent from that. So that's one side of the spectrum. On the other hand, you might have someone who's starting an e-commerce website, and this can be, you're selling handmade jewelry online, you want to sell it yourself, you're selling shoes, you're doing drop shipping. Not that drop shipping is a thing anymore, is it? So, there's all sorts of things that you need to be able to sell online, and they probably, you can start simple and sell your homemade items, and you want to you're really good at making cards or handmade bracelets or something like that, and you're like, I don't really want to sell on Etsy or eBay or these other places because I get so much commission or other things taken out of it. And there's a huge proponent of Etsy and those type of websites. We can talk about that in another video, so comment if you're interested. But there's a huge proponent of people who want to do it themselves. They want to be able to make it and really be able to build their own brand. And a lot of them are apparel, lifestyle, maybe even nutritional things. There could be digital content where people sell they might go online and sell digital books or workbooks or guides. Those type of websites, whenever you're building them, the biggest thing you need to know is what you pay is what you get back, right? So if you go up and spend $300 on a Wix website and you're making a couple $100s a month off of it, I would admit that's a pretty good ROI. And if that's all you want to do is a couple $100s in sales a month, Wix is probably going to work out. But if you're looking to scale this and grow this into a business that's making thousands and tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're going to need a system that can handle that, and something that you can customize, something that you can modify at a much higher level as you grow. So just keep that in mind as you go. If you just want to stay small, it's a hobby, it's a side business thing, something just kind of can coast along, Wix could be an okay option for you. If you want to take things to the next level, you want to really invest, and this is your core business model, and this is the essential part of your business, you better believe you should invest in it. Those are kind of two extremes. You got your local coffee shop, you got your e-commerce shop, maybe a higher level e-com. What about your everyday general business? And in my opinion, a lot of websites online can be broken down into 3 distinct groups. You have your informational websites. These are literally websites that just talk about the business. There's really no call to action besides probably contact them or get in touch. There might be some sort of recruitment side of thing, but really this is purely informational about the company. They just want to have something. It's like a business card or a business pamphlet online, right? Into a website format. The second is, you have your booking, your member, your e-commerce, your selling of some sort, whether that's subscription based, that's a product based or something. This is something that could have information attached to it. It could have, other, features, but this is the core of the website. This is the main focus. And then you have what I would call your blogs or your other membership style sites that are more organic content based, right? So you're producing content, you're publishing maybe news or articles or how-tos. You might have a membership guide or paywall where people log in and have access to curated content or exclusive content or things like that. So you have your blogs, you have your organic content, you have your informational side, and then you have your e-commerce or your subscription, more product-based or subscription. So those 3 are they can intertwine. You can have all 3 of them in one. That's usually how a lot of websites operate, but usually you can have them and seeing them very separately on the web. So when you're coming at an informational website, and if your only goal is to is just to get your name out there, it's not really to do anything but to just have a website, Wix could work for you, right? If you're a small business and you don't really care about your website, you just we need to have a website if people happen to find it, then Wix will probably find you. Now, if you are a business and you're looking at growing, you're looking at expanding, you want to recruit, you want to do things better, you might want to reconsider that decision, because Wix will end up ultimately probably limiting you. But if you're starting out, not bad. E-commerce, we already talked about. Subscriptions, you definitely want to go something a little bit more open source, a little bit easier to work with in sense of customizations. And then blog, I'm not super impressed by a lot of the blog features here in Wix. Now, you definitely can set up a free blog. You definitely could set up a paid blog here. You definitely can work with content and grow it. But again, it gets back to the same thing. Do you own that content? Do you have access to it? Is this something that you need to be concerned about? Because guess what? Your livelihood as a blogger or as a news articles or anything that you're producing online, that is your content, and you need to make sure that's protected. On Wix, frankly, if you don't pay your subscription or something happens, all your content is gone. So with those 3 involved, what I'm basically getting at here is that if you're starting out, if you're a business that's not really super dependent on your website. Now, for me, when I talk to people, when I'm consulting with businesses and talking to them about the importance of their website, right? What are they actually trying to do with it? If there is not a goal, if there's not an alignment with a business practice, and they're just like, oh, we need to have a website to have a website, then usually page builders or Wix or simple things like this could work for them, because they don't really honestly use it. That's just something they know they need to have, and they're just willing to pay a write-off expense and get it done and just have it there for the next few years, and then they'll write it off again and do another one. That's very common practice. In this case, it's better not to invest a ton of money into that website, because it's not going to have your value. It's not going to have your ROI. In many cases, these businesses don't even really see their website, right? They don't even use it. It's not even a part of their day-to-day operations. So really, they're going by word of mouth. They're going by their reputation, by their physical location, and a website is just there. So that's one case where a website built on Wix, probably not going to hurt you, probably not going to help you either. So, and that's something where when you're getting into those larger conversations and strategy conversations with people, if you are building a website for yourself or for your company, these are things you should think about. If you're building websites for other people, these are things you need to talk with your client about. In that, what are their goals? Where do they want to go? And this is something that is really hard to talk about in the front end, but it's so beneficial in the back end, because if you're talking about their goals as an organization and they're like, hey, we're starting out as a really simple website. We don't need a blog. We don't need a store. We don't need any of this. And it's like, great, maybe Wix is a good option for you. But ask them, what do they see in 6 months from now? Where do they see themselves in 9 months? Do they want to grow into the blog? Do they want to grow into the e-commerce side? Do they want to do this and that? Do they want to integrate different pieces? Do they want to have marketing integrations, newsletter, mail list? Maybe they want to do that on a very basic level, and that works still with Wix. But normally our recommendation is that they go with something a little bit more flexible, something that can scale a little bit easier, so that they don't run into a limitation where you build them a website, right? And then 12 months down the road, that they outgrow that platform, they outgrow that website, and you have to rebuild it for them or work with them, or worse, they fire you and go to someone else who actually gives them a recommendation that says, hey, why didn't my original designer or developer tell me about these limitations? This is the goal. This is what you need to know when you're working. And if you're doing it for yourself, you need to understand your own business goals and where you're working towards, because at the end of the day, you're in control. Even if you're working with an agency or if you're working by yourself and building your own website, you are the one who controls. You're the one that running with you're building your website, you're working with people to do it, or you're building the content, or working with your business, because you're the face of the company and it's your website. You need to do what's best for you. And right? Is this Wix in your mind? Is this going to be a simple website that I can have for a year and it's kind of a throwaway website that you have it set up and it works for a time and then you keep moving? That's probably Wix. If you know that this is serious and this is something you want to invest in, this is something it's important to you, you probably should go with something else. And that right there is the bottom line of using Wix or not using Wix. Is this something that is going to grow? Is this something you're going to put a lot of money and time into? Is this going to become a risk where this is your primary business asset? Then you should think about your platform. You should think about what you're building it on, because at the end of the day, that is where you're going to run into your biggest problems if you do have to change. All said and done, is Wix right for you? It's your decision, right? But my experience and my influence on the side is there are some businesses Wix will work perfectly fine for. The ROI is there. They're not going to care about it. And other businesses, if you don't set up a proper e-commerce shop, you could be missing sales. You could be losing a lot more money than you potentially saved because you went with a cheaper option. You went with something that's more limited. So keep that in mind as you go through and as you set up your websites. And of course, if you have any questions, if there's anything that I can help you with, there's anything else I can review, please let me know. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be producing more content like this. We're going to be exploring different platforms. We're going to be going over different tools. We're going to be diving pretty deep into these features of websites and how they can generate revenue for you or value. And that's, at the end of the day, the goal is that they provide value. They're part of your business. And we're going to explore the ins and outs of different platforms, going into the next one of Squarespace. You have Weebly, WordPress, Joomla, Drupal. What do those mean? Do you even know all those? We're going to talk about them. So stay tuned.